essentially going to be a hybrid of a recommendation video, but with memory tests.
Oh no.
And feelings.
I don't do feelings. No, hold on. I don't do memory. Do I remember if I do feelings? I'm not sure.
This is what I live with every day.
Isn't she lucky?
Hi guys, it's Editing Leanne here. Consider this video to be a tiny time capsule into the space just before my brain decided to give up. It's been a really awful couple of brain months and this video never got edited, but it is full of wholesome cuteness and lovely wife Helen being adorable. Both of us have different hair and different glasses since that video was filmed, but I thought you would probably like to see it anyway. So take it as an anomaly, an episode that you cannot fit in the canon of my channel, and enjoy. Hi guys, it's Leanne, and
Lovely Wife Helen!
Lovely Wife Helen now owns to this title. Lovely Wife Helen is in fact Lovely Wife Helen on all social media now. You can find links down below. Also, Lovely Wife Helen is even more Lovely Wife Helen. Like Lovely Wife Helen with added loveliness, because now they have chosen their preferred pronouns, and their preferred pronouns are
they go.
That information also available in all of the social media profiles below. Every time that I'm filming and I ask you guys, what do you want to see? The chief answer, the number one at the top of every list, is more me and Lovely Wife Helen. Me! I don't know if that's just because you're here for the bants, or you know how frustrating these videos are to edit.
Don't know what you mean. I'm perfect.
Perfectly something.
Annoying?
I've played the 5th or the 7th or whatever it is that means I don't have to answer you. You just stood on my toe.
Sorry. You kicked me. I did mine by accident.
When I asked you guys what kind of video you wanted us to film, you just said, tell us about your favourite books, which seems to be a broad category to me, like it encompasses many books. And so I decided to narrow it down. I put this story on Instagram. Recommend me a book that will make me blank. No, we are not playing Snatch Game.
Oh. I'm not very good at impressions, so that's good.
Who would you do if you were doing Snatch Game?
I don't know, because I am rubbish at... I can't... This is my voice. I can't do any other voice.
Do you know, if I could pull off the accent, I would want to do Helena Bonham Carter in The Crown.
Oh.
If I don't have to speak, I can pull that off. So we got a lot... So we got a lot of lovely responses from you guys, and I'm now just going to throw them out there completely at random, and you're just going to catch and throw a recommendation back.
Okay, catching I'm quite good at. Recommendations, maybe not.
Okay, I'm going to start out with one from the lovely Steph at Steph Loves, and she would like a book that will make her laugh out loud.
Red, white and royal blue. That made me giggle.
That was very succinct and very fast. I am impressed.
Haha! One.
Can you tell us what red, white and royal blue is for an additional point?
Okay, that's now it's memory test. There's a queer YA contemporary about the first son in the White House.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
The first son.
And a British royal prince. And they have that hate to love type relationship.
Wow, you're referencing tropes. I'm so impressed.
I'm learning.
All these years of training, it's finally paying off.
And it's really fun. It's really good.
So from what I remember from the synopsis of this one, the two of them get into a kind of social media punching match where the media has decided that they absolutely hate each other, and their PR teams are trying to fix it by making them make friends,
yes.
Except they make slightly more than friends.
yeah, pretty much that.
And it's definitely laugh out loud?
Yes, there are bits in it that's definitely laugh out loud.
Okay.
Yes. And lots of feelings as well, if you want those, you know.
Oh no.
I know.
But I thought you said you didn't do feelings.
Yeah, well that's what I said for other people.
Okay, I will see Red, White and Royal Blue, and I will raise you Fuzzy Nation by John Scalzi, which is something that we talk about quite a lot when we do recommendations.
Because we love it!
Yes. It's one of our favourite books ever, our joint favourite books ever. Not one of the ones that we have read aloud together, but one of the ones that we have both listened to the audiobook for, and we just, it's amazing.
It's brilliant.
It's hard to sum this one up in a really short synopsis, but essentially, we are in space where Jack Holloway, who is a somewhat roguish contractor who works on terraforming new planets, is working for the Zara Corporation. He discovers on this new planet a seam of jewels, and he decides that he's keeping that all for himself because he spotted it first. But Zara Corp not so happy with that, so he goes to his house where he decides that he's gonna hide out and just wait out all of the legal ramifications, and while he is waiting, a small fuzzy creature appears in his house with its family, and he discovers that it may or may not be sentient, which means that Zara Corp are essentially planning to strip mine a planet with intelligent life on it, and then everything gets very complicated. His relationship with the fuzzies, also his relationship with his ex-girlfriend, and his relationship with his dog,
yes.
are just some of the funniest things that I have ever read, and it's a really easy introduction to sci-fi if that's a genre that you're not usually interested in or you would like to try, but it's quite scary. It's very much like a small cast space opera, and it's just great.
Brilliant.
It's great. Next up, we had lots of requests for things that were like sob with joy, or cry buckets of tears because it was so emotional, or cry but in a happy way.
Ooh, that's hard.
And I gotta say, there were a few contenders that I threw out immediately, because when I think about crying in books, I don't often think about happy crying. But Lovely Wife Helen seemed to immediately come to a conclusion about this one. So what did you pick? Did you pick?
This Green and Pleasant Land. That was easy.
Looks like this, by the way, just so we know.
A contemporary adult, yes.
Yep.
About a Muslim guy whose mother is dying, and her last wish is that he builds a mosque in this tiny British village.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. And as it turns out, quite a lot of people are opposed to the idea of having a mosque in their tiny British village. Exactly, in their tiny British village. And lots of people are quite angry about it and abusive about it, but not everybody.
I like that. That was a good synopsis. I want to read that now.
Thank you.
I'm very impressed with that synopsis. My pick for this one is a mental health memoir called Furiously Happy by Jenny Lawson, in which Jenny Lawson is essentially everything except furiously happy. Also, it has a taxidermy raccoon on the cover, which is very pertinent to the narrative of the book. So essentially this is Jenny Lawson's middle memoir. The first one was kind of like about embracing your weirdness, and the most recent one is about accepting that you're broken and that everything around you, all of the systems around you, are also broken. But Furiously Happy is about the journey of mental illness, from from realising that you have mental illness, to getting diagnosed, to therapy and trying different strategies to deal with it. And I'm not gonna lie, it's dark, so there is definitely going to be a lot of tears in there if you're somebody who cries at books, because it really got me in the feels. I really related to a lot of the experiences that she has. However, there are also weird Japanese toilet stories. There are koalas with chlamydia.
Oh, is that where it came from?
But the way that these stories are framed in amongst it very much felt to me exactly like what mental illness feels like, where there are these really horrible dark moments, and then all of a sudden there'll be a light bulb moment where you just laugh at how absurd everything is, and then everything's kind of okay again. So I would recommend that one for a full range of crying feels. Next up, we have one that appeals to my thriller loving little heart. We have got, from Kirsty Reads and Creates, Think I Know the Twist and then realise that I have no clue. Can you think of one for that?
Yeah, okay. I have The Lost Man.
By Jane Harper.
Yes.
One of my favourite books of all time.
It's awesome.
It's actually nice to have someone other than me recommending The Lost Man, let's be perfectly honest. Can you do a synopsis for The Lost Man?
Not as good as you could.
I was having this conversation very recently with Ashley from A Frolic Through Fiction, where she was like, I love to ask booktubers, what's the book that just hands down, drop of a hat, you can give a whole synopsis for without even thinking? And I was like, what genre? So The Lost Man is essentially set in the Australian outback, miles and miles and miles away from anywhere else, in a place where all of the land is farming land and it's all droves and droves of cattle. There is an unspoken code in this part of the country where if you see somebody is in trouble, you stop, because literally you could be the only person that that person sees all day for the next 3 days for forever, and it could be between you and life and death. And into this world we drop in with the Bright family, who are a pair of brothers who have split two adjacent plots of land, and at the very beginning of this novel we discover that one of them is missing, and when they find him they discover that he has left his fully operational, completely well stocked with supplies car and has just walked out into the outback, into the horrible burning will kill you in 10 minutes from exposure outback, has stripped off all his clothes and has curled up to die on the grave of an old outdoorsman that lies between the two properties. And the book is essentially trying to find out why. And I thought I knew that twist.
I thought I did as well.
Several times.
Yes.
And then it was just like,
Not
no.
that one. Not that one either.
No.
And also not that.
It was just like, red herrings. It's so good though.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite thrillers. I had quite a few contenders for this one, including The Lost Man, including Burnt Paper Sky, including The Family Upstairs, and I ended up settling on an oldie but a goodie.
What's that?
I'm going to go with We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, and just talking about this book makes me want to read it again immediately, and it's hella short, so I might actually just do that. Essentially, We Were Liars follows a very privileged group of teenagers as they go to their family's island getaway for the summer. But we're told right from the very beginning that they are liars, that you can't trust anything that they say. Fortunately for you as a reader, it's really easy within the first couple of pages to just settle into believing whatever anybody is telling you at that time. And I kind of forgot as a reader that the narrator was telling you from the beginning that they were completely unreliable. And this world of elite privilege has a lot of secrets, and then a lot of death and betrayal, and I literally cannot give you any more information than that, because everything is a spoiler for this book. Please don't look it up anywhere. If you like a twist and like Gossip Girl on an isolated island with characters that have been related for years and years through family connections, and betrayal sounds like it's up your street, just pick this one up.
Oh, I might have to.
All
that
I'm
sounds
saying.
good.
I liked it a
Yeah,
lot.
I'll have to see if I can get an audio for that.
I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can. I might even have the audio for that.
Okay.
We will investigate later.
Yes.
Next up, we've got an interesting one. Love a Jellyfish, I love that username, would like us to recommend books to get out of a book slump. I can go first with this one, because I was in a book slump when I read this particular book. This is People Like Her by Ellery Lloyd. It's a standalone kind of like psychological thriller that just came out this year, and on the surface it does not look like anything that I would normally read. It is about a woman who is a mummy blogger. She has what is essentially an Instagram, and she has a huge brand. Think of mummy blogger meets like Mrs. Hinch kind of thing. She sells everything based on her recommendations, and she takes pictures about how motherhood is really, really difficult, and a lot of her brand is like, look at this huge mess that's in my house, but my baby's very happy and we're struggling through. She posts constantly about how much she is having a difficult time being a mum. But actually, really, behind the scenes, she messes up her house for pictures. She has a cleaner. They use a nanny service. And everything in her entire social media brand is staged. And her husband is pretty sick of it. But it turns out he's not the only one who's pretty sick of it. So you get her point of view, you get his point of view, and then you get an anonymous third point of view who's silently stalking the family.
Ooh.
And who has a lot of contact with like their small children in a way that you know that they don't mean any goodwill, but the people in the kids' lives don't know that, and it's very ominous. And it's very page turny. I was so passionate about it that I got lipstick on my teeth.
Oh, it must be good then.
Yeah. Beat that.
Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief.
Very nice. That's an old school recommendation.
Yes.
There's an adaptation in the works for that.
Oh,
Did
is
you know?
there?
Yes,
No, I
it's
didn't.
going to be made into a series.
Oh, cool. I might have to do rereads.
No, that's a good idea. Don't put that in my head. I don't need to reread any. I don't
Got
need
new
to
books.
be
You've got
rereading
new books.
any more books.
Percy Jackson is a middle grade fantasy.
Yes.
About a boy who discovers he is a demigod, in fact, because he's part Olympian god.
Well, good. Well, good.
good.
Well, good. Well done for remembering the term while I forget basic words.
And because of his demigod status, monsters can sniff him out and basically want to destroy him. And so he has to go to Camp Half-Blood, which is where demigods of all varieties train and learn how to protect themselves against these monsters.
And go on trials. And make friends.
Yeah. And if they're lucky, find out which god is their
Other parent.
Yes, because they don't always know which god is their other parent.
I forgot so much stuff about that you've just reminded me. I forgot about the monsters sniffing them out, and then there's the three furies. And
Yes, they keep on appearing. It's really good.
I think I need to reread that series.
We can do it together.
Okay, next up we have got one that got our brains ticking, but we think that we've mutually agreed on one book that we both think would fit for this.
Yeah.
So, Sarah McDonald Artist asked for a book that would make them want to re-watch Leverage. Leverage is one of our favourite TV shows ever. They are making a new season of it right now, and all of the teasers are making me a little bit insane. I love Parker and her chaotic neutral energy, and I'm a big Hardison and Elliot fan. I really just wanted Hardison and Elliot to get together, let's be honest. I shipped that in a hard way.
Yes.
Maybe hard was not the right word for that. Let's move on. So the book that we think would make you want to rewatch Leverage is Theft of Swords by Michael J. Sullivan. This is the first book in the Riyria Revelations Chronicles. I think that's the right one. If I'm wrong, I'll put it down here. He has a couple of different series, like in this world, some prequels and then this series, and it can get a little bit complicated, but this is very definitely the first volume of it, and we love it. Yes. So let me see if I can sum this up, because it's been a while since we both read it. It is essentially about a quest to steal a sword that gets a little bit complicated. Yes. So it is about Royce, who is Royce the thief, and Hadrian is a mercenary. And they are working together to steal a sword from the palace, and together they get accused of the murder of the king, which they absolutely did not do. But in order to clear their names and not be fugitives forever, they have to work out essentially who did kill the king and what they're going to do about it. And it is very heisty.
Yes, very heisty.
There's a lot of thefty stuff in there. There's a lot of grifting involved as well, though. There's some good psychology in there. But I think the thing that I loved the most, I don't know about you, was Royce and Hadrian's friendship. They feel very much like Hardison and Elliot with their constant bitching. They hate each other, but they love each other, but they hate each other, but they love each other, but they have to have each other, but they don't want each other. But they're stuck with each other, but they can't get away from each other. It's really annoying, but also, you know, they kind of love them.
Yes, when I read it, I just think I went straight on to the next one and potentially the next one as well.
Yes.
I want more! Gimme!
Yeah. And I think it was at a time where you were really, you had like dipped your toe into fantasy, but you weren't sure what you liked yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely slid that one
Yes.
into your audio library and was like, try that.
Give that a go.
So give that a go.
Yay!
Okay, so that is all of our recommendations. That was fun.
It was.
I liked that. We will perhaps do this format again. Did you guys like it? Please let us know down below. If you did enjoy this video, please consider giving us a thumbs up, and then I'll maybe consider allowing lovely wife Helen to come back on the channel again at some point. You know, they seem to be such a crowd draw. If you're new here, please consider subscribing so that you can stick around for if lovely wife Helen does appear again, and maybe they will bring baking, because that is also a reason that I keep them.
Is that a request?
Yes. And as always, if you have read any of the books that we've talked about here today, let us know what you thought about them down in the comments. And are you inspired to pick up any of our recommendations? We also would like to know about that down below. And, you know, the eternal caveat, if you would like to put some books on our wish list based on the books that we loved, I would be eternally grateful. Lovely wife Helen will be. I will be eternally grateful. Please put more books on my wish list. Thank you, Ta. And we will see you again soon. Bye!
Bye!
Which of my recommendations are you picking up first?
I have to watch the video to find out.
It's just tragic. It's just tragic up in here.